gentlemen. Bear with me as I am trying to... This is my second test run with Mixer, so bear with me as I stumble my way through this and get everybody shared out. Let's see here. All right, we got a lot to talk about tonight, so let's get this all sent out to everybody. Let's put this out on social media so everybody can see it. All right. Luckily nobody's on, or I guess unfortunately nobody's on just yet, but let's get this going. All right. Oh, looks like somebody is on. If I could just remember how to get the little chat window to pop back up here. Oh well, stream, oh well. I will figure that out later. I will just pull up the window. Let us, man, there is a lot into setting up a stream, but we don't. I see you're on, Kevin. I don't know what you mean by you don't see the eye, but I see that you are on. So give me one more second as I'm still fumbling my way through how to do this. I want to make sure there's got to be an easier way for me to share this out to everybody. I really don't I haven't really figured all this out. I know I still got a video, an intro video to do. Biggest thing is I want to make sure that people are not seeing, you know, what I'm putting in my chat windows. I mean, you only see the one screen and not all my screens, if that makes sense. All the little screens that are kind of like in the back, kind of like background ones that you guys shouldn't be seeing, but I can see. That allows me to allow me to handle all the little metrics and analyticals and stuff, and also passwords and everything. It would really embarrassing if people were seeing my passwords and everything. Let's see here. Let's make sure everybody sees that I'm doing this. All right. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see here. Looks like everybody's getting the link, I hope. Oh, this is perfect. I can just copy and paste this part. And I think we're going to try this out. I'm going to put it in a chat group and see how this works. And I'm going to put it, I'm nervous to actually put it in this other chat group, but I'm going to do it. It's not Team Jeep, but it is what it is. Oh man, this could end up being a bad experience because I might have just opened myself to a world of criticism of people I really don't want criticizing me. So let's get into this. I just got you on, Kevin, and though you are an amazing follower, and I really appreciate you jumping on. I'm hoping I can get a couple more people to jump on here, but this is kind of almost another test run, I guess, in a way, sort of. Yeah, that second one you sent, Kevin, was a better one. I appreciate that. That should... I'm just actually clicking on it to see if it actually brings me... Yep, there we go. Awesome. Yeah. So that is definitely the link. I got one more chat group. This is the chat group I was a little nervous about putting it into, but I'm gonna do it anyways. It's one of the competitive groups. Hey, Felipe's on. Yay. So you know what? It's out there. What am I going to do? So, since you guys, it's going to be a while probably before some people get on. So we got a lot to cover today, and I don't want to spend another hour and a half testing out the software and wearing you guys thin. But since you guys are the first ones on and the ones that are going to get those bonus tickets for any type of raffles or prize support, I put down in the About section that I'm working on a couple widgets and doodads and buttons to put onto the stream that will keep track of how many followers I've been getting from the 3 I have now to every 100. And then once I hit every 100, I'm going to do a drawing. And I will pull that item out from my Narnia, which is my, for those of you that know, my spare bedroom and actually my pantry, which has no food in it except for a couple bottles of wine, which I'm not sure if that qualifies as food unless, I'm wearing yoga pants and picking my kids up at soccer practice. I'm not sure. So yeah, they are grapes. That's a food group. Yay. And don't they use water or something else to it doesn't matter. So yeah, that is a food group. Awesome. Anyway, so both those locations are just full of bits, stuff full on sprues from different miniature groups, new in box items from like Games Workshop, Infinity, Malifaux. I'm pretty sure there's some Steamforged game stuff. Warsenal that does a lot of stuff for Infinity and a couple other smaller games. Creature Caster, Toughest Girls in the Galaxy, and Soda Pop Miniatures. At the very least, that has new in-package product. And that's the stuff. I've got about 20 items. Those are things that for every 100 followers that I get, I'm going to do basically a drawing out of that group of 100 people, and some lucky person is going to get a free item, anywhere from like $20 to $50 in value, and I'll get it mailed out to them. Or if you're local, we can meet up. I can hand it off to you, get a picture taken, put it up online, unless you have like a cyber stalker and you do not want your picture up online. No worries. So essentially I've got about 20 items, so all the way up to that 2,000 mark, which is the point where I can start actually getting start getting a partnership. I have to basically prove myself. So I have to have like at minimum right now 50 followers, and I have to do like 100 hours a month, and I have to do X amount of videos to get to the next level. So we're taking baby steps. So I'm hoping by Sunday I will have all those little buttons and widgets, and the donation button I'm going to have up on there is going to be strictly volunteer thing. And I'm not going to be like those other people that are, hey, you subscribe to me and I'll give you tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff, or just subscribe to me, give me money, and I'll play Apex Legends or all these other games. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep doing the same content to where I'm doing a breakdown of any rumors, news, leaks, all that kind of stuff. Painting tutorials, conversion tutorials, especially between now and Adepticon, possibly LVO. basically full content videos. So there might be a subscribe button in the future where I can actually maybe do some tutorials and like one-on-one stuff. But the donation buttons, right now I've decided I'm at the point where it'll be at the very least 1/3 of it is going to go towards a veteran charity. 1/3 of it will go for some studio upgrades, and then the other third is going to be stockpiled for when we hit the 2,000 follower mark, and or every 1,000 after that, if I'm lucky, and we will have basically have a big prize giveaway for not just whoever that last person or the 2,000 person is, but we'll break it up for several prizes because I want to like spread the wealth to you guys. So between all the like 20 plus items that I'm going to be giving away between now and 2,000 followers, and then afterwards, I got a lot that's going to be happening. So, and before I jump in, because like I said, I don't want to do like an hour and a half show again because some people got to go to bed. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and I'm sure people just want me to get to the content. So what was I just about ready to say? I already forgot. Let's see. Yeah, stalkers would be cool. I know, it's easier for me to say as a guy, especially a white male, that it's easier to say, man, I wish I had a stalker. That would be awesome. Because I don't have that much to worry about like women do, especially female streamers and such. So I'm not insensitive to that. If it was a female stalker, we probably wouldn't be stalking too long. I'd be like, hey, let's just go out on a date. But that's neither here nor there. So right before I get into the stuff for the game and all this other stuff I want to talk about, what you guys are seeing behind me, I'm in my living room right now. I am in the process of redoing Narnia, the spare room, into my actual studio. So I'm picked out a new paint. I'm going to actually paint the wall behind me. I've got some cases, some display cases, and some other artwork that I want to set up in there before I go full on studio. And right now it's not at that level. It's really cluttered. So this weekend I'm going to tackle that, and hopefully next week I'll have the studio set up. I'll have this great camera set up here to where you'll be able to start seeing the stuff I'm working on. I'm not too 100% happy with this camera. I might try a different one, so we'll see. So with that said, hopefully next week I'll have my studio up and going. It might not have the paint job up yet, but at least I will have it cleared out. And because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm painting and hobbying, I have difficulties doing that when there's too much clutter. I mean, like laundry out and just boxes overflowing, and basically just when it's, excuse the language, rat fucked, that I cannot handle that. So I need to get that studio totally prepped for these shows and for when I start doing the project for Adepticon. So, and that project for Adepticon is my main army that I'm now waiting for this codex to come out, the Codex Space Marines, and then, which we're going to be talking about, and then my creature caster contest that Ski, if you guys know Ski from other part of FMP Wargamers, him and I are competing in the Resin Beast contest at Adepticon. We're both competing against each other in the Matriarch category, which will be the smaller models, which are about 32 millimeters in size. And then he's going for the large model. I'm going for the diorama. If you happen to get a chance, the model I'm going to be using for the diorama is going to be the Queen of Ecstasy model from, you know what, I can probably just pull this up in the background. Queen of Ecstasy. You know what? I'm going to type in Creature Caster, because I bet you if I type in like Queen of Ecstasy, I'm going to pull up probably something that is not safe for work. And I could just see it now, like your wife or your kids are going to end up walking into the room and they're going to end up seeing me accidentally pull up like some sort of porn thing on here. That'd be a little bad. So let me check here. Is streaming still good, guys? Everything's still good? You guys can hear me okay? Let's see here. So let me get my phone ready just in case you guys are trying to... Okay, you can still hear me. Good. Okay, so I've got several models that I'm going to be able to do here. So I'm going to pull these up. I'm not sure which order, how fast these are. Something with Creature Caster's website, it's very slow to load. I think that's a server issue. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this model, or I'll go back to it, don't worry, or this model. I'm not sure which one yet. This one just got a lot of stuff going on, and which could be good for a painting contest, but this one, I really think that this one is this one's the priestess. This one is the noble, and this one just has such a, I don't know, more regal appearance to her. She looks. I know this one, you know, it's more about a sex appeal. I think like a seductress. I mean, they're matriarchs of ecstasy. They're demons of lust and all that jazz. But this one just looks noble, like knightly, and I think I'm gonna have a lot more fun playing with this one, especially with the fabric. And what I don't know is if this is where I got the icon or the marker. I don't know if this is a scythe for her. You know, it's like an organic scythe, or like her, she's got those little claws. She's got those claws very similar. And there's another one of the models that has the same thing. I don't know if this is a claw. Maybe it reaches around to the back here and it's part of her body. I don't know. And I'm gonna see if I can get some. Oh, you know what? I can just I can just turn around. And in classic, what do they call it? Classic Creature Caster fashion, their butts are exquisite, which is good for the Queens of Ecstasy. And what I'm going to do probably is I'm going to go all out on this tentacle hair. I've seen enough anime. I think I could pull this off. So I'm looking forward to this. A lot of cool fabric, a lot of different textures here. I think this will be the model I'm going to go for. I don't know yet for sure. I seriously doubt I'm going to use the priestess, even though she's got some cool effects going on. But as Maelstrom pointed out, oh, look at that. I don't have to put the smoke on. There's this cluster of heads that she has. But it's still, that is a very busy model compared to this one. So I think this one just looks like it'd be a lot easier. I could do all sorts of non-metallics on that arm, or make it maybe look obsidian. So yeah, I think this is the one I'll go with against Ski. Now for the open or not for the open, but for the diorama at Adepticon for the Resin Beast contest, this is the model I'm going to do. I won't be using this base since it is a diorama. I'm looking at having a spiral staircase that she is descending down, but the spiral staircase will be it's going to be cut a little weird on the sides, almost look like somebody just did a perfect slice and just pulled it out of the rest of the architecture. It'll be nice and smooth and marbly on the side. But yeah, this model, this is an 18. I think I've got this set as 18 plus. So if you're at work, this is definitely not safe for work. Maybe it is. Everything's covered. Her bits are covered. So you can now see the kind of size comparison. There's a 34 millimeter model right there. That's about this. It's a little smaller than a Space Marine. The Space Marines, I think, just a little bit taller than that. But you can see that this model is big. You can't really see her hair or her butt, but fully. But It is definitely shapely. I've got the model. It's definitely shapely. It's one of the difficulties we're going to have with this type of modeling, and this will be one of the shows down the line, is when I start tackling this model, is I'm going to basically have to have a pot of hot water next to me, as I find that works the easiest to bend all this resin to get it flowing right. And I'm thinking that instead of having it all go in just one or multiple directions like this, I'm thinking I might try to have it all go in one fluid motion, like it's all about ready to rear up and strike almost like a scorpion. So we'll see. Oh, yeah, there's some coloring. Now, she doesn't have the greatest, but that award goes to the Spider Demon. I'll pull that up before we tackle the Space Marine preview today. The reason why I'm going on about Creature Casters, because I'm partnered up with them, or FNP is partnered up with them. So I want to give a shout out to them and to Jen and Jason over at Slow Fuse Gaming. They do, they have a Twitch feed where they're doing painting classes or painting demos and such. So give them a shout out, let them know that Father Gabe said hello, sent you over. So this is another model that I had considered doing, and it could very well end up being my diorama. I got this when they were doing their Kickstarter. I like this one a lot because, as you can see, she has a very nice rear end. And I like the kind of, you got these weird smooth and then these rough chitinous plates, and the spine is showing. So it's real cool texture ideas in there, and I could do a lot with the paint on these. March 25th to 29th. There we go. Yes, Maelstrom. She does look like she's the model from Species. Hey, Ski. So this could end up being on my diorama also, but I really think I'm just going to stick to that, the Queen of Ecstasy. That model right now appears to be the best version for me. And I mean, as you saw, guys, it is a very busy model. And Ski, the reason why I'm not going to do the King is I've already got this model, and I've already started getting her cleaned up, and I've already got a vision of what I want to do. And plus, I don't want my miniatures to have a penis flowing out. So I'm going to just, or whatever that is, a penis tongue or whatever it is, I don't want to use that model. Thank you, though, for the suggestion, or for asking about or bringing it up. But this one just has a nice flow to it that I like. Even though it's extremely busy with a lot of different textures and everything, I think I'm going to have more fun painting this. I've got a lot of ideas to tackle this. So I'm going to just put this one off to, this is going to be it. Especially the light source I'm going to be using on it, how I'm going to be having the light reflect up. Well, you'll see when I get to it. The whole diorama is going to come together really nice, and which is going to be good because I know for a fact I would beat Ski with this diorama. Now him and I are going to be competing pretty hard with those with the matriarchs that I showed you guys earlier. So I'm not. This is the one matriarch that I'm probably not going to be using, guys, at against Ski. I'm not particularly fond of this one, and it could just be the paint job that's kind of thrown me off. But this one just doesn't. I want to say it's almost like this is the first version that they did of the Matriarchs of Ecstasy before they tackled the other one. You can see the size right there. These are 2-inch, just over 2-inch talls, 2-inch tall models. But this one just struck me as this is his first one. The other two really looked to me like he put a lot of time and effort in getting them put together, and to me they just look way better. So it's really down to the priestess. So I see Humane Fiend is on. Awesome. Thanks for jumping on, guys. Make sure you guys hit the follow button down there. It'll really help me out. And I'll kind of go over things before I jump over to the Space Marine stuff and Crisis Protocol. So this is one of the models that I'm considering using against Ski, who's on the show right now, at the Resin Beast at Adepticon, or as I just pointed out, using the Noble. This one I particularly like. It's more aesthetically appealing to me, and we'll see. Yeah, Ski's going to be doing the Zombie Dragon, I think, for the large model. Is that correct, Ski? So, yeah, roger that. Awesome. Okay, so let's get on real quick here. Probably most of you guys have already looked or been in chat groups where they're just going on and on about the Scions of Guilliman, which are basically, they're just talking about all the stuff that's going to be coming out for them with the new codex. Now, most of this stuff is going to be in the codex supplement, and a couple of the things I was talking about and I kind of predicted a couple weeks ago or a week or two ago, and then I was talking about the other Tuesday night. Hey, Hot Monkey Bro 2, awesome. Make sure you guys are hitting that follow button. The reason why I'm saying also hit the follow button, it helps me out. And as I get to 100 followers, every 100 followers that I get to, guys, I will be doing a giveaway. I've got, as I've mentioned to the other guys that have been on, in my spare room, which I'm turning into my studio, a lot of my friends that know of it, it's called Narnia, because it is full of bits and sprues, new in box items from stuff like Infinity, Malifaux, Steamforged, Guild Ball, Games Workshop, of course. I know I got Forge World stuff, Cool Mini or Not, Ninja Division for like Soda Pop miniatures. I think I've got some Arena Rex in there. I mean, I got so much stuff in there that for every 100 followers between now and 2,000 followers, I'm going to just do a giveaway. So, and it's just to say, hey, thanks guys, and it's also kind of clearing some stuff out. But really, it's a thanks to you guys for helping me out and joining the show and interacting with me and everything. So it'll be really cool if you guys are able to do this. I will consider it Humane Fiend. We'll look at that in the future. Let's get to 2,000 followers, and then we could talk about adoption. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so let's get into chapter tactics real quick. As I was talking about, a couple weeks ago on our YouTube channel, that the Ultramarines are going to be getting a supplement, and that White Scars were going to get a supplement. I don't know why I'm looking over here to the side, but we knew that they were going to get a supplement. I didn't realize that there was going to be 7 supplements. I knew there was going to be some. I just didn't realize the extent that they were going to do. And the thing I had mentioned is that more than likely what's going to be in there is all your special characters like Cato Sicarius, Guilliman, Marnius Calgar, the Invictus, I think they're Invictus or Victrix Guard, whatever those new guys that come out in that Primaris box with Guilliman, and Tigerius, however you say his name, Kronos, Telion. I don't know if all those guys are going to be in there. I am assuming they are, because from what I'm understanding, from what I've read and what has been passed on to me, is that Codex Space Marines, it's going to be very generic. So the YouTube channel is FNP Wargamers, Hot Monkey Bro. So you can check us out over there at FNP Wargamers, and because of things that are going on over there, we've had to shift what we're streaming on. So I'm over here right now really testing this out. I'm really liking it. We've got a lot of good feedback so far, so I think we're going to be staying on Mixer. So anyways, so we got that codex coming that's going to have pretty much all those units in there, and that's something that we predicted. It's going to be a $30 book. Not happy about the price, but it's going to be pretty close to being a normal codex size. So probably about 70 to 80 pages, maybe a little less. I'm going to say maybe 60 pages because of the price. And they're going to be pulling out the vast majority of the stuff that's in the codex, the regular Space Marine codex. But what I kind of predicted they were going to get, predicted or passed on from my little Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is the name we've decided to give to my two people across the pond who leaks information to me. Mr. and Mrs. Smith passed on that there's going to be new psychic powers, stratagems, and warlord traits that are specific to each chapter that's getting one of these supplements. And as we found out today, the information I passed on was right. And I'm only patting on the back because I'm excited before, guys, and I might not seem like it right now because my voice is a little strained. I'm excited that I'm getting accurate information still after a year and a half now of meeting these people and them us setting up basically a line of communication. We have to be very careful because Games Workshop, and if anybody's worked for Games Workshop before like I have, you know that they'll put out little I don't want to say red herrings, but essentially they'll go on a fishing expedition and they'll throw some false information out there or allow somebody to see something, and if all of a sudden it's splashed out there ahead of an official release, that they are able to track down who it was, and that person getting fired. So I've got to be careful with what I release, and a lot of the times, I would say about 50, maybe 60% of the time, the information I get is very cryptic, and I have to take the couple keywords that they'll give me, go back and look at the rumor engine, look back at all the other information I've gotten, and essentially try to piece things together. And the accuracy is pretty gosh darn good. We've been over on F&P Wargamers on YouTube. We've been pretty spot on this past year, or at least since I've been on. And then when we got Ski on, we have been fairly accurate with all this stuff. Yeah, I do like Naruto. Not too much, but I do. So I'm pretty excited that they put all this information, all the lore, and all this stuff that is special just for the chapter. So that's what's going to be really cool about these books, is that it's not just, hey, here's some units and we'll give you a sprinkling of stratagems and maybe some Maelstrom of War cards information. They're going all out. They're giving them lots of extra special abilities, like this one right here. I'm hoping you see it on the screen. Let me check my feed. Yeah, so Scions of Guilliman. And the Scions of Guilliman is going to be a special ability that Ultramarines are going to get. I doubt it's going to... Oh, it does say successor chapters. So we talked about 2 days ago, we're talking about those doctrines that you're going to be able to get. Every Space Marine chapter army is going to be able to start with the Devastator Doctrine. And I'm not going to jump back and take a look at that, but they're going to be able to start with that doctrine. Now, after turn 1, you can switch doctrines. So right here we got Scions of Guilliman. It allows you to switch whenever you switch to the tactical doctrine. That, as you guys can read here, if you already moved, normally you can't shoot at your maximum range, shoot or a rapid fire weapon at your maximum range twice, because you have moved. So now you're going to be firing at half range. Well, now you're actually going to be able to do that as long as you have the tactical doctrine active. And when you add that in with that bolter discipline rule, that actually ends up being really cool, because now you're double tapping. And if you have all these other types of heavy weapons and lots of bolters out there, storm bolters and whatnot, you're going to put out a lot of withering fire support. And if they still have it to where you can have a guy with a chapter master or Guilliman there with their reroll all misses or reroll ones at least, you're going to have I forget the numbers we were looking at, but you're going to have a high number of hits, and which increases the number of wounds. And we were looking at the high end where you're needing like a 5+ to wound. So let's see here. So going on, so you guys can see that when you have your special characters. Oh yeah, thank you, Maelstrom. That's the other one thing I want to get on. Heavy weapons. With this tactical doctrine, that means you can move those heavy weapon squads and still fire as if you were stationary. That means you are not going to be having those negatives to hit. If I'm understanding that correct, as long as you just did a normal move, you didn't advance or fall back, then you're going to be able to move forward with your heavy weapons and fire without that -1 for moving and shooting your heavy weapons. So that's really freaking cool. Especially, like, I love the Primaris Marines, and that's one of the reasons why I have not been taking too much of the Hellblasters, is because I really like the heavy weapons, but be able to keep them stationary, it really makes them a target. And something like this, I'm going to be able to move them around, hell, even pop them out of that impulsor tank and give them that, remove that negative. And if I've got a captain or something nearby, now I'm getting rerolls, increasing the odds. This is really good. We haven't even seen all their stratagems yet that will tack onto this. So this is really shaping up to be really good. And keep in mind, we've only got a sampling of the Codex and the Ultramarines supplement. So the other thing that I thought was interesting is this new psychic power, is this telepathic assault. As you guys can read, it's a really cool opportunity for you to do a lot of mortal damage. Now, there's a really cool tactic that somebody showed me, and I'm not sure if it will come into play in this new codex. Now, Space Marines, I can't remember the stratagem, but there is a tactic or a stratagem that you can use, and you have to have, I think, 2 or more psychers, and they can initiate a psychic power in any psychic phase. So one of the tactics we were looking at is having two or more. I think I was having 3 Phobos librarians who can stealth up or deploy forward, and which will be really cool if, let's say, I'm going up against somebody that's got a fast-moving unit that I do not want in my lines. Like, let's say, Khorne Berserkers, 20 Khorne Berserkers. I don't want that anywhere near my lines, especially with that new Shock Assault rule where you get +1 attack on the turn you charge. So I think that's 4 attacks per guy, which, that could be, 80 attacks from Khorne Berserkers. I don't want to face that. So I can use the Tenebrous Curse psychic power and their psychic phase and stop them or reduce their move, their advance. Their move, advance, and charges by 50 or by half. And I think there was another power that further reduced that. So now they're moving at a quarter speed. So that gives me at least a turn or two to deal with that sort of advance. Now, if they still have that psychic power ability or that stratagem, this is where this telepathic assault would be great. Is it's your opponent's psychic phase. You've got one of those Phobos armored librarians up close, and you can sit there and hopefully nuke an enemy character, or maybe a psyker that's out of position, or one of those deadly units that you do not want attacking you. So I'm really hoping that stratagem carries over. We'll see. And as I mentioned, also, besides all the psychic powers, the warlord traits, there's going to be relics. Not just the 1 or 2 relics that we've already been seeing, but they're going to be doing a host of new relics. And I'm going to be interested to see if some of these relics are the same ones from, and if somebody can jump on there and help me out. I think it was in 6th edition. Yeah, I think it was 6th edition. They rolled out about a half dozen chapter-specific supplements, similar to what they're doing now. I think it was Iron Hands, Ravengard, Imperial Fists, and Salamanders, I believe. And they were very light books. There was not a lot of information in them. I don't think there was any new units, but there was a host of relics in them, some stratagems, and I think, or not, whatever their stratagems was in 6th edition, and some Maelstrom cards or something similar. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of those transfer over and probably a host of new ones. And there are probably going to be some new characters in there. And the great thing also is when we went over chapter tactics the other day, we were talking that you could be a successor chapter for the Ultramarines. And if you do, you end up getting their, you end up using their chapter tactic. I don't know how it's going to work. Let's say I want to be a successor chapter of the Ultramarines, but I don't want to use their chapter tactics. So I'm wondering if I choose, say, 2 random successor chapter tactics, does it still allow me to be considered an Ultramarine successor chapter and be able to pull from their relics, their psychic powers, whatnot? So that's going to be something that we're going to be. I'm particularly interested in seeing, and I'm already put a word out to my little birdie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Get me some information, please. So I'm hoping by Saturday, and I think by Saturday is what they're waiting for, is for that stuff to go live to pass on a wealth of information to me. So when I do my Sunday show, guys and gals, I will probably be revealing some information. And I won't do any more shows until Sunday on here on Mixer, because I want to wait for that information. So anyway, so lots of weird relics. I don't know how often people are going to be using some of these. Like the Sanctic Halo actually is a really good relic to use. I think it's available right now. I feel like I took that at the El Paso's Desert Rat GT that I went to back at the end of June. I feel like I took this one. I don't have my codex nearby, but I mean that's great, because normally I don't like to run psychers, and something like this would be fantastic. So at least gives me a little bit of an edge. And then the Sunwrath pistol, I don't know if it's going to see much play. I mean, it's kind of more of a novelty thing. I don't think there's better. I think there's better relics, like the Sanctic Halo, the Sunwrath pistol. That's cool. And if you end up taking another relic, this could be a cool one to take, but I don't see it. There's better ones. So when I was talking about how everything can keep stacking, so we've got Bolter Discipline, gives you those that extra shot with any of those bolt weapons, right? We have that Scion. Let me scroll back up. The Scions of Guilliman, the Scions of Guilliman rule that lets you tap into that tactical doctrine, which the tactical doctrine, if I remember correctly, it takes your rapid fire and assault weapons and gives it another -1 AP. So now you're getting your 2 shots with Bolter Discipline. If you have the tactical doctrine up, you are getting -1 more AP. And if you happen to be using the new Stalker rifles, which are already -2 AP and 2 damage, now you're -3 AP. And then if you can be moving with those heavy weapons, those Stalker weapons, and still be able to fire just like with the Bolter Discipline, moving and getting 2 shots with it. And then you throw in this awesome, I mean, it's not awesome, but it is potentially very beneficial. So this one, if you have the tactical doctrine up, the Bolter Discipline, the Scions of Guilliman rule, all that stuff set up right, now you activate this in a phase that you're about ready just to unleash on somebody. And there's one other thing I can add on to this. So now you're going to be any unmodified rune rolls of 6 now increases that AP by an additional 1 for that attack. So now your AP with those Stalker rifles, for example, you're now AP -4, 2 damage with a very basic intercessor unit. And if you took those doctrines, or not the doctrines, but in the Vigilus Ablaze or Vigilus Defined book, if you took the Indominus Crusade upgrade and you made your intercessor squad, those type of Marines, they're veterans of the Indominus Crusade. I think it's cost like 1 command point. And you've got this active, all this other stuff active. They have several different versions there, but the 2 that stand out the most right now is the Stalker one, where I believe it says that you can target characters. So now those Intercessor Marines, that have moved forward with these heavy weapons, and they're going to be able to fire twice now because of bolter discipline, and with no negatives can target characters with strength 4 weapons. Okay, but now you're targeting strength 4 weapons, -3 AP, potentially -4 AP because of this tactical expertise right here. Or if you go with the other version, if you just have the regular bolt rifles, you fire your weapons become, I think it was rapid fire 2. So now if I understand that right, your rapid fire, that's 4 shots that you're getting. That's 10-man squad, that's 40 shots. And you tack on all these tactical disciplines, tactical doctrines, and these stratagems, and now that 10-man intercessor squad that a lot of gamers, especially the guys that go to these big GTs and majors, have kind of scoffed at, are now become extremely lethal. And this is where the other day I was talking about, I'm very excited and very happy that my faith is being rewarded for wanting to back the Primaris Marines. I've been playing this game since 1989, so well over 30 years, I think. Somebody do the math for me. 30 years now. Would it be 30 years? Yeah, 30 years now. And to be able to see this, I am super excited to see the evolution from the RTB01 box or whatever to the Primaris Marines and see their effectiveness increase over time. And it's like I've seen that narrative kind of play out. So it's really cool to see this happening. And there's other stuff that they're putting in there, right there. The axe-wielding honor guard, Gilliman's going to be in the book. There's an Ultramarine name generator. That's going to be so much fun. I don't know about that. You know what? It could be kind of cool. I'm sure it's going to be one of those a couple charts where it's like D66 or 2D6 and 11 through 66 to get your different names and whatnot. It might be like, this guy's from Calth. This guy's from God, I don't remember any of the names. There's Calth and Talisar. So any of those places. So the other thing I was really excited about is the inclusion of the Tyrannic War Veterans. Now, those models are already out, and they have not gone away. So what I'm going to be interested in seeing is if, there's a picture right there. So they're going to keep the Tyrannic War Veterans. So that's good. I was very happy to see them stay in, and obviously they're probably not going to be Primarist, but if you want if you want to make them Primaris, I don't think that anybody's going to care. And then they still have that old Chaplain model for Chaplain Cassius. If you want, there's a Chaplain Cassius out there with the Death Watch box that came out. He's a lot cooler. He's more updated. I think that's when he was supposed to be a little younger, when he first was in the Death Watch before coming back and helping out the chapter and whatnot. So here's a special rule. When resolving attacks made by a model in this unit against a Tyranids unit, you can reroll the hit rolls and you can reroll the wound roll. If I go up against my friend Kevin and he happens to have his Tyranid army, and I'm, of course, running my Space Marines because that's what I do. I'm definitely going to be making my army, definitely going to be making them Ultramarines. I'm going to be running a piss ton of Tyrannic War Veterans. Sorry, Kevin, it's going to happen. You're going to have to just deal with it, dude. I don't know what else to say because I got to do it, man. I know it's kind of screwing you over, and I'm sorry. So, yeah, bring it on. You got it, buddy. So, rounding this out, so we're here. They're talking about Tigerius. It wasn't a super huge upgrade once he got the 2 implants. The one that helps grow the muscles. The other one where it's actually like steel fibers that they blend into the muscles. The Belisarian furnace implant, which makes them a lot tougher, more resilient to pain. And all it ended up doing was giving him a bonus attack, which, okay, they're a little stronger, a little faster with all this new equipment, and they got the bonus wound. So it's not a huge upgrade, and from what I've read here, And what I've kind of like guessed and I was talking about before a couple weeks ago is that there's not going to be too many big changes. I think everything is going to be staying the same that's in the codex right now. He's just going to get a point increase and then he got that extra wound and attack. So he's a little bit more effective now, but I don't know. It'll depend on the points to see if it was justified. I could see for that extra wound, extra attack, if they go above 20 points increase, that might be a little too much. But we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot going on. He has a lot of special abilities. And this just wraps this up, guys, for the Ultramarines thing. So tomorrow we're going to be seeing, and you know what? I might do a show tomorrow. I'll have to do it out of the studio at the Atomic Hobby Shop, our FNP studio there, maybe. Or I might just save this and chat about it on Sunday. But the Codex supplement for White Scars, we're going to find out that information tomorrow. And if you guys don't know when that drops, it's actually at around 9 a.m. Central Time, which is 3 p.m. In the UK. Their British summertime. So that's when all this information is popping up. I don't expect too much other information this weekend to drop. There might be a Sunday release, so we'll keep track of that. And of course, when I do the Sunday show, I'll be able to talk about it. But I'm not closing down yet because I got other stuff to talk to you guys about. Staying on the White Scars real quick. There is going to be a con on a bike. But it's not going to be Corsoro Khan, who's supposedly well known for being on his bike, but there's never been a model. And they got that new model coming out, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow or Sunday. You guys will see it tomorrow, but there'll be a Khan on the bike. And this very well, guys, and gals, this could very well be what I was talking about. Still about 60% sure that it's. I'm about 60% sure it'll happen. 40 on the unlikely. The Primaris Marines on bikes. I think it will be, and this very well could be the only Primaris Marine on a bike. And because I think we would have saw it already, but they might be waiting just to drop that with the White Scars, going, hey, here's this other new unit. Because I know that there was like 7 or 8 new units that were supposed to be coming out. So very well we could be seeing those models. I know that I've been told is that there is a new Khan on bike model, but the wording was Khan. It said Khan on bike. It didn't say Kosoro Khan. It was Khan on bike. So I don't think Kosoro Khan's going to be getting 2 models, guys. I think Kosoro Khan has probably adapted a whole new role, especially now with him being a Primaris Marine. He's probably taken on a whole new role. Who knows? He might actually end up being the new chapter master. So that's probably why he might not be tooling around on a bike anymore. But there should be a Khan on a bike, and I bet you, at this point, I'm going to push it up to about a 70%. That's going to be, let's make it 75. I'm feeling frisky. 75% chance that is going to be a Primaris Marine on bike, and still about a 60% chance that we're actually going to see the Primaris Bike Marines. I know that they've been worked on, and I've said this many times before. I've seen the artwork. I've seen the finished artwork. I think a lot of people have actually seen the finished artwork. I've seen a lot of the rough sketches, rough sketches and 3D model. And no, I'm not going to be able to show it because if I do, it will most certainly dime somebody out. And so if you don't want to believe me, I don't care. I don't want my people, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, to lose their job. So say what you want. I'm just not going to show you. Unless I have it on my phone and you guys catch me at Wargames Con, I might be able to accidentally, I think I said it before, I'll show you real quick. But I cannot stream it. I cannot post it up on Facebook because then all of a sudden I'm going to probably get somebody fired. I don't want to be that asshole. So we'll see tomorrow in about 12 hours. 11 and a half hours, we're going to find out. So let's move on because I have gone over my time. Something I want to talk about that's not Games Workshop related um, is an upcoming game called Marvel Crisis Protocol. Now, for those of you that are on here mainly for the Warhammer 40,000 chat, we're going to be going over that more on Sunday. I just wanted to give a brief talk about with the Ultramarines. If you guys had just jumped on, I'm going to be doing a contest here soon. I got a whole bunch of new widgets and buttons that are going to be going on here. One is going to be like a tracker that keeps track of how many followers I have as I build up. Every 100 followers that I get, and this means reach out to your mom, dad, friends, get them to come over, create an account, follow, and every 100 followers, I'm actually going to do a drawing, and somebody's going to get a prize support. I'm going to pull it out of Narnia, not the Chronicles of Narnia type place. I don't have a wardrobe I'm going to walk into and get that stuff, but my pantry, which has a couple bottles of wine, and that's just chock full of miniatures and bits and sprues and stuff that's new in box. And then, of course, my spare room, which is being turned into my studio. Hopefully I'll have that studio up and running next week. It's just, I would say half the room is just stacked with boxes. Maybe I'll take some pictures and show you guys next time. Anyways, I got so much stuff that's actually new in box that I'm going to actually give out as prize support. Every 100 followers that I get, I will do a random drawing out of everybody, and somebody's going to get that prize. We'll work out how to get it to you, shipping, or if you're local, I can hand it off to you. So coming out of Gen Con from Atomic Mass Games is the Marvel Crisis Protocol. It's going to be a miniature game, and this is Marvel's, well, I guess if you want to count HeroClix, this is their third miniature game that I'm aware of. Their second one after HeroClix was done through Night Models. They're the ones that do the Batman miniatures game, which is, I'm going to tell you right now, is a blast. I'm hoping that in the near future, I'm going to be able, I got a couple friends that play the game. I'm hoping to do a couple live stream games, because it's a really fun game to play, and it's really quick. I'm like 45 minutes, and to have your crews battle it out. And I'm a big DC fan. I really prefer that game over others. I'm going to be showing you one of the models here. A great thing about the Batman miniature game from Night Models is that inside every miniature that you buy is the rules for the Batman miniature game, for that model, and the rules for the Multiverse game, which is more of your big Justice League versus Darkseid, where you want to have people. You go from the street level, Batman level game to the big apocalyptic type battle, where you have Green Lantern, Red Lantern, Darkseid, all that stuff, Superman, battling it out. And they did a fantastic job at the game. Now that company also did the Marvel version of the game, and eventually, I want to say, is about 2013. I think it was about 2013. Marvel pulled the plug, and they took that away from Night Models. Even though Night Models put out some gorgeous miniatures, but they took that out. And it's because it's them trying. I think it was probably around the Disney time that Disney bought them. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, over here we have the Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures game. As you can see, these miniatures are actually really badass looking, and they're basically going to be representing all the Marvel characters. I seriously doubt you're going to be able to make your own characters like you can in with maybe Warhammer 40,000 or such, but there's nothing wrong with saying, coming up with your own version of Iron Man, that's your own, Venomized, or, a different version of Captain Marvel or Doc Ock or whatever. I'm sure with these models being plastic, there's going to be some very smart modelers and hobbyists that are going to be able to make all sorts of badass things with these models. And there's a huge host of models that are coming out. Now, I don't know too much about this game because they're not doing a lot about gameplay. What I do know is that this starter box right here comes with, well, all those models right there on the cover. So it was at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 models, plus all the rules, a bunch of starting stuff, tokens, all that jazz. It's about $80. So it's a kind of a hard pill to swallow at first for only 10 models and all the starting stuff. And it looks like, if I understood correctly, the tidbit that was passed to me is that individual models are going to be around $20 a pop, or sets will be about I think $39, $40. I don't have the full pricing on that just yet because this stuff has not been released. So from what I do know about this game, after reading about it and kind of listening to some designer commentaries, and here's one of the models. These models come unpainted, by the way, and it's hard plastic. It's not the soft, gooey plastic you get from like the Fantasy Flight games, miniatures, or the D&D deep cut models or anything. It's hard plastic models, and they're not painted. You still have to assemble. You still have to paint them yourself. But what I understand about this game is that it's played on a very small map. I want to say maybe 3x3 at most. And the terrain on there is you can damage it and you can use it to your advantage. So you could end up knocking over a support column and picking it. From what I understand, you can pick up that column and throw it, or throw somebody into the column, or toss a car at them. There's all sorts of destructible terrain, and from what I understand, that this Atomic Mass guys are actually producing some badass street level terrain that you can actually take apart. So if it gets damaged, you can knock it over. It's magnetized and whatnot. So there's some badass stuff that's going to be happening with this game, and it looks like the gameplay is going to be faster than an hour, maybe like a 45-minute skirmish level game. But you look at the quality of these models, guys and gals. At least I'm hoping you're seeing. Yeah, you should be seeing it. Ultron, Black Panther, Thor. Now some of these will have the MCU version, some will not. The core set, I'm sorry, is $99.99. Yeah, you're getting 10 characters. Oof. But you can see the models that are coming out in the future, anywhere from, oh, look at that. The pricing's right there, $24.99 to $39.99. The $39.99 ones are probably going to be the 2 packs or the larger models. So we have Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, a whole bunch of characters from Guardians of the Galaxy, the Black Panther movie, Winter Soldier, Venom, the Hulk, terrain packs. Man, these models look really cool. So a lot going to be happening. A Red Skull, Captain America, looks like that's Crossbones back there behind Captain America. And it looks like the proper Crossbones, not the MCU version. So, yeah, that is it. And it's supposed to be dropping this fall. Now, some of the other models I've seen there's a Valkyrie model, the classic Valkyrie model, like the Broomhilda, the blonde. She's still active. I think I don't understand all the storyline that's going on right now, but I think she's dead, but she's like in a goddess type mode. And the new actual official Valkyrie is Jane Foster. She's no longer the mighty Thor. Long story if you don't keep up with comics. I'm not going to get into it. So here's another version of the models. You can see how easy these are going to go together. There's the Black Widow, and that looks very close. That's a little bit closer to the Black Widow costume from the Marvel comics, not the MCU. So, man, if you have difficulties putting that together, we'll have to work together. I'll probably do a tutorial for you guys, help you out there. I would probably, the way that this looks, I'd probably just use regular super glue and not use plastic glue. And then here's another example, some of the models. You can see in the background there, guys, Black Panther. Can I zoom in? Yes, I can. Black Panther, looks like Killmonger, a badass looking Venom. And that's probably going to be one of those higher costing models. You can see how big the Hulk is compared to other models. There's Shuri and I can never pronounce her name. Okio, the really super hot, sexy, bald leader of Black Panther's bodyguard. And then it looks like Winter Soldier back there, the classic Winter Soldier look with the little half mask that he wears in the comics. So this game's coming, and it's going to be pretty good. From what I've seen so far, I'm definitely going to get it, and we're definitely going to be streaming it and building the models. To give you guys an idea of the Batman miniatures game, I've got one model underneath my camera here, and this camera, I'm probably gonna have a different one. The one I show in the miniature here below my screen. That's the camera I'm going to be doing when I show off my when I'm doing the painting tutorials and just my painting for Adepticon and whatnot. That's what you guys are going to be seeing. That's what I'm going to basically this window over here to my left, your right, maybe, I don't know, where I have basically this window here showing off these models. That is going to be the blown up version of this camera. So you're going to be able to see me doing the paint techniques and the conversion corner that I'm going to be having. That's what I'm going to probably be calling as conversion corner. And so you guys can see some of the conversions I've been working on. Actually, since I've got a whole bunch of new people on tonight, I'll actually show you guys what I've showed a couple other people, my first followers, Maelstrom and Kevin, the other night. But this is just an example of the miniatures that you can get from the Batman or the Batman and DC Universe game. These are really badass models. They're that white metal, not quite lead, but they are definitely metal models, and they are really easy to put together, really easy to paint. I really dig the models. They also have them in plastic and resin. Almost everything is starting to be moved over to resin, so I'm excited about that because I'm not a big fan of using metal models. They're such a pain. I'm sorry, they're just such a pain in the ass to deal with. Even when they make them easy like these guys did. So here's an example. Even though the Justice League movie was not the greatest, I still enjoyed it because it was the Justice League. But you can actually run a team. Now I imagine, from what I know of this game, that's a very expensive team right there. You might not actually be able to run the whole thing unless you're doing a really big game. So if you guys are worried about paying for too much stuff, there's actually a download button, and you can download the Batman Miniatures game, the DC Universe game for free, and you can read all the rules. You just have to buy the miniatures, and you're ready to go. So I can get kind of close off here. I really appreciate you guys joining, following. There's going to be more to come. I figured out how to do co-hosting, so I'm going to try to get Ski on, get Kevin on. Kevin, have a good night. Get a bunch of you guys on, and where we can maybe even just co-host painting and such. So I'm going to probably try to do a test run with Ski maybe this weekend if he is up for it. An example really quick, here's a miniature over here. Let me break this out here really quick before we log off for the night. Dropping pieces everywhere. So let's see, let me get this camera here. Let's see here. So compared to a Games Workshop model, you can see quite a size difference. These are really like 32 millimeter true scale. They come in multiple pieces. You do have to be a little careful because these are, as I'm messing with them, they are resin. And as I mentioned earlier, inside you'll have like your like this is the card for the Batman Miniatures game. It has all your stats, all your special abilities, everything you need to play the game. And oh, you know what? not every model, sorry, not every model can be used in the DC Universe game. Some of them cannot be used, and they'll actually have the Multiverse tag. Let's see if I can pull that tag up. I'm sorry, I was not trying to lie to you guys. Let's see if I can pull that up here. Crap. That's a bit embarrassing. Let's see here. Constantine. Unless they're putting out a new rules, so they might have changed that. Yeah, so you can see right here, John Constantine, Multiverse. That means if it has the Multiverse logo next to it, that means that you can run it in the Batman Miniatures game and in the DC Universe game. So something to think about, and I'll be hosting that in the future, painting that when I need to take a break from painting up my Resin Beast models that I'm going to beat Ski with, and I'm going to win the grand prize and take home thousands of dollars at Adepticon, and I'll be like buying everybody lunch and dinner and drinks, everything. We'll see. But that is really all I've got for the show tonight, guys. I'm pretty... Oh, we got a dream. Did I go over? Man, I went over again. I really wanted to keep the show to 30 minutes, and now it's an hour and 11 minutes. So I'm going to have to do something about that in the future for these little quick shows as I get information. I'm going to look at really cutting down the content and just trying to fire off these little 30-minute shows where I don't have to sit there and necessarily interact with everybody. You don't have to be on to enjoy the show. You can just come back later, check out the show, check out my library, and go, what crazy crap was John going on about? And then you can just watch the maybe 15, 20-minute video of me ramble through, hey, this is coming out, this is what's happening, or hey, did you guys read the news that such and such gamer or top 40K player has been banned from the Texas tournament circuit, that sort of stuff. So that's the type of news that we want to do. So in the future, there'll be a whole bunch of buttons here, donation buttons, which those donations that I said earlier, I'm probably going to wiggle with the information. I'd like to have more of the donation money go towards a charity, a smaller portion to fixing up the studio and getting some better equipment for streaming and everything, and then a smaller amount, maybe like 20% of that, the donations will actually go towards building up a big prize pool. And then, because right now I've got enough prizes to give out. Every 100 followers that I get, I will do a prize drawing. And once I get to 2,000, that's when we'll do a big one. So once I have that donation button up, you don't have to donate. It's just one of those things that helps out the show. And it helps out. It could end up helping you out. You might get some prize support for donating a couple bucks. And we got more stuff going on. We'll have a new window somewhere up here, around here. I don't know where yet. That will show off where we are on the number of followers. It'll be like, I think 7 out of 100, or when we get to 100 or 1,522 out of 2,000, it'll just kind of keep track so we can see our goals. And I'll have other little goals up there that will really help out, especially as we're coming up into November. So it's going to be a great time, November, December, great time of the year to have some donations, some charities set up for like the Harvesters, Toys for Tots, that sort of thing. So let me double check chat. I do need a chess clock like 40K, or just have a timer running somewhere around here, Ski, that shows, that, hey, you've already spent 10 minutes of your 15 or 20, just that countdown clock, like it's going to explode or something. That is a very good idea. I'm probably going to do that for those future shows. So anyways, thanks everybody for jumping on and watching. I really appreciate it. I got 7 followers now in 2 days. That's really freaking amazing. And I'm level 23, whatever the F that means. So we're well on our way to getting 2,000 followers. Please pass the love on to your friends and family. And I know jumping on the Mixer is a brand new thing, and I'm going to do my best to get as many of the FNP Wargamer followers over there to here, especially as FNP starts hoping that this stream, they like the stream, this layout, and we end up doing our shows here. I'm still going to be doing my show, the Father Gabe show, and maybe in the future you guys will find out why my tag or my name is Father Gabe, even though my real name is John. Maybe you guys will find that out. So without further ado, I think that is going to be it for the night. I really appreciate it, and make sure you hit the follow button, spread the love, let your friends know about it, especially starting next Wednesday. I'm going to be doing my first conversion, probably tutorial. It's actually for the Adepticon project for Adepticon 2020. But you guys will be able to see some of the stuff I'm doing live. I'll be able to help you walk through it. And if you have any questions, I'll be able to see the chat window and interact with you, and be able to, with so many extra models that I have available just laying around, I can actually probably show you some techniques. So that'll be something that we'll be doing in the very, very near future. And then after that, probably sometime near the end of the month, end of August, maybe beginning of September, mid-September, we'll start actually doing the painting ones. But actually, I take that back. Next Wednesday, I'm going to show you some painting techniques as I test out a couple paint schemes or color schemes for these Marines that I'm doing for Adepticon. So actually, you guys are going to hopefully help me settle on one of the color schemes. So actually, we'll probably do that. And we might turn it into a contest. So pass it on, get as many people to come on and be a follower, and I will talk to you guys on Sunday at 5 p.m. Central.